But right now we have our next guest from Skype, correct? How's it going, man?
Hi, how do you do? Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well. So I'm sorry.
My card, hello.
Yeah, oh, hey. There, look at that. Card right here, right on set admin, right? Okay. Nice to meet you. Oh, I can keep it. I'll put it in my pants. I had my pants down a minute ago live, and my it was not good. So, but I'll put it in there. How's TwitchCon working out for you, buddy?
Really good. We had no expectation of it really. We just found out that it was happening a few months back, and we just decided, lots of Twitchers or lots of people in gaming use Skype. They've been using Skype for 10 years, for as long as Skype's been around, and we haven't really actually focused that much on the gaming community. So we thought, let's put a stake in the ground, and let's actually show the Twitch audience that we're here. We're willing to understand what they love about Skype, what they hate about Skype, and see how we can remedy that while showing them a few new features and introducing them to a professional product that we have called Skype TX.
Excellent. Lift your mic up a little bit so we can make sure everybody hears you. Now tell us about these new features that you're talking about and how they're impacting broadcasting or sharing or just communicating via Skype.
So a couple years back, we introduced a new version of Skype called Skype TX. It's aimed at the high-end broadcaster to begin with, and it's essentially a hardware-software appliance, 1RU rack mount, that essentially takes your IP-based Skype call and converts it into a HD SDI feed. And what that means is you can actually treat a Skype call the same as if you've had a input from a satellite or from a fiber line. And we found that a lot of news agencies, a lot of sports, they rely on Skype for contributors, and it was a good professional way, turnkey way that you could actually use Skype in your broadcasts. What we found when we launched this at NAB last year was that a lot of actual high-end or a lot of gamers who are serious and have serious control rooms have been using Skype TX as well. And we're here just to say, we've got 3 hardware manufacturers who partner with us at Skype. We provide the software, they provide the hardware, and they've allowed us to help scale this product in a way that people can actually have professional level Skype in their broadcast. Even, because we think the bar is so high now. Yeah. The quality of Twitch streams these days is so high that people are doing anything they can to try and get that edge. And we feel that, allowing people to come into your show in a professional way, in a manner that a producer can sit there and actually control what happens to those callers is so important. So you've got the producers that love Skype because of the quality and control that you get, and you've got the engineers behind the scenes who love Skype because they love that it's just turnkey. You plug it in, and it's ready to go in 5 minutes.
Wow. Use that mic real close there, just because that band's rocking out. I love them, they're great, but we want to make sure that they hear you. So that's fascinating stuff. And so basically we've established that, this is something that people want, that the connections are there. We've established baseline connections. Yeah. Now it becomes about feature sets and products that are going to help extend the experience, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And as well as the high end, we are also trying to cater for the fans. How can we help use Skype for fan engagement? And we've got all these wonderful ways that you can actually create group chats very easily, very turnkey ways that you can actually assign a URI to a button and then send that out, and then basically watch your fans flood in. And on a multi-platform, on any platform, as long as you've got Skype, you can then talk to your fans. You can create micro communities. You can create communities up to 300 people per chat room, where you can actually, work out where you're going to raid, what game you want to play, and and then you can actually have calls, audio calls for up to 20 people at a time. In a way where you just have to press one button. We've got a lot of competitors who are offering, voice over IP, but sometimes you have to set up servers, you have to do this, you have to do complex firewalls. Skype really is the easiest, most turnkey way to actually interact with your teammates, and we want it to be used more for fan engagement as well.
Absolutely. Now, this is all happening so very fast. What are you doing? It sounds like you have all these ideas and a lot of things that are actually taking place that are in reality now, but also things to come. How are you gauging what people want out of the service as it pertains to gaming? You said you're talking to people, doing some things here, but how are you interacting with the gaming community to find out exactly what it is that they're lacking right now that you could fulfill?
So we have a website that we've set up for our team. So it's skype.com/media. and a Skype Twitter handle, which is Skype in Media, at Skype in Media. And what we do there is people who are interested, not just in the media, like in entertainment or sports, anyone can contact us through those channels and say, hey, I've got this broadcast, this is the problem, and we'll do our best to try and solve that issue. When we start actually seeing all of these kind of issues coming in, we can actually play the prioritization game and say, well, a lot of people are suffering from X or Y, and then the team is split between marketing and technical people as well, so we can actually take those requests and actually turn them into product asks. And as long as the business case is compelling enough for us to actually commit some dev cycles to that, then we can actually try and aid in the success of the broadcaster's issues and try and fix them in a way that we haven't really paid attention before. Usually people have to stamp pretty hard before we realize, actually we could be doing this better. So we've got our ear to the ground really super close. We're doing events like this to actually bring awareness that this Skype and Media team exists, and we're here to try and make sure that the content that you guys are producing is at the absolute best quality.
So, and last question for you, because ION, the Influencer Orchestration Network, is all about connecting brands with these big influencers.
Yeah.
How are you positioning yourself to brands in terms of making sure that they are aware of the tools that will ultimately be promoting, showcasing, and sharing their games? Because, it's my philosophy, and as the tools change, they might actually be changing the way games are constructed, the feature sets, the play mechanics. Because if a game is just inherently more fun to watch people do this in this mode or this type of function, then it's going to impact its popularity. So, are you speaking with these brand managers? Are you speaking with developers? Are you finding out what they want from you as well?
We are absolutely speaking to a variety of different people. From brand managers to developers to even the developers who create the software, who actually help Twitch people broadcast to Twitch. We are casting a very wide net, and as I said earlier, doing a requirements gathering exercise, which we're taking very, very seriously, because we really do want to capture the essence of what makes Twitch so great and see how can we take it, from a 10 to an 11, and you can only do that by listening to the communities, listening to everyone who actually wants to talk to us, because there's lots, and it's just really working out what works, what doesn't, and and moving on to the next thing as soon as possible.
It's all about communication, I guess, inherent to Skype. So thanks so much for your time over here. We really appreciate it.